Pablo Escobar and Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, two names that define the global drug trade. Together, their empires amassed billions, influencing entire nations. But who left a more lasting legacy on the world of crime and beyond? In the world of illegal drug trafficking, few figures have become as infamous as Pablo Escobar and El Chapo. Both were kingpins in their own right, Escobar reigning over Colombia and El Chapo dominating Mexico. Their stories are filled with power, violence, and a relentless pursuit of control, making their rivalry one of the most intense in criminal history. The drug trade is fraught with challenges, from avoiding law enforcement to outmaneuvering rivals. Escobar and El Chapo each faced their own unique obstacles. For Escobar, it was the Colombian government and the relentless pursuit by the US DEA. For El Chapo, the challenge was to navigate the fierce competition within Mexico's sprawling cartel landscape, all while evading capture by a government increasingly pressured by its northern neighbor, the United States. But the biggest challenge? Maintaining control over a billion-dollar industry that attracted not just rivals, but entire armies of enemies. Pablo Escobar was born in 1949 in Rio Negro, Colombia. From a young age he was ambitious, starting with petty crimes before moving into the lucrative drug trade. By the 1980s, Escobar's Medellín cartel was the biggest cocaine supplier in the world, earning him the title the King of Cocaine. Escobar was ruthless, using bribery and violence to control every aspect of his empire. His power was such that he even attempted to enter politics, but this only intensified the government's efforts to bring him down. On the other hand, Joaquín Guzmán, known as El Chapo due to his short stature, was born in 1957 in La Tuna, Sinaloa, Mexico. Unlike Escobar, who rose quickly, El Chapo's ascent was gradual. He started as a mid-level member of the Guadalajara cartel before branching out to form his own organization, the Sinaloa cartel. El Chapo's genius lay in logistics. He built sophisticated tunnels to move drugs under the US-Mexico border, and utilized advanced technology to evade law enforcement. His rise was marked by strategic alliances and brutal takedowns of rivals. As their power grew, so did their reputations. Escobar was feared as the face of the cocaine epidemic in the 1980s, while El Chapo became the most wanted man by the 2000s. Their empires were built on the same foundation: drugs, violence, and corruption. But their methods and the challenges they faced were worlds apart. Their paths, while parallel in many ways, had crucial turning points that defined their legacies. For Escobar, it was his escalating war against the Colombian state. In 1993, after years of intense manhunts, Escobar was killed in a rooftop shootout. His death marked the end of an era, but it also left a power vacuum that would fuel even more violence in Colombia. For El Chapo, the key moment came with his 2015 escape from a maximum security prison through a mile-long tunnel, a feat that demonstrated his cartel's incredible resources and influence. However, his final capture in 2016, and subsequent extradition to the US, marked the beginning of the end for his reign. Sentenced to life in prison, El Chapo's fall was as dramatic as his rise. Both men ultimately faced the same fate, the collapse of their empires, but their stories continue to reverberate, serving as stark reminders of the power and peril of the global drug trade. Pablo Escobar and El Chapo Guzmán were architects of two of the most powerful criminal empires the world has ever seen. Their rivalry, while indirect, shaped the global drug trade and left behind a legacy of violence, corruption, and a stark lesson on the limits of power. Who do you think had a bigger impact on the world, Escobar or El Chapo? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of crime and its lasting effects on society.